Donald Duck, gee, I think he's cute. I like the way he waddles and I like to hear him talk. And when somebody makes him mad, how he can squawk.
Sorry, I was trying to sing along to the Donald Duck theme. Why don't I learn? Before we start, don't forget to check out our Discord, our coffee page, and like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, all the things. It really helps us out. Jack Hanna was born in Nogales, Arizona in 1913. He attended grammar school and high school in San Isidro and, I think I'm saying this right, National City, California, where he dreamed of a career in the ring.
I actually started out wanting to be a prize fighter, and I was having pretty good luck with it until finally I got my jaw broken, and that made me think back to my art ability.
His art ability led him to attend art schools in California like Chouinard, Otis, and the Art Guild Academy. His first jobs were designing posters for Foster and Kleiser, as well as for Hollywood theaters. Note that this was all during the early days of a common era of discussion here at Discographies, the Depression, and Disney was one of the few places artists could go to make a paycheck. Hanna was no exception. He applied and was hired at Disney in 1933. He started off as an in-betweener for $16 a week. Disney at the time had a payment system where you would get extra money for any gag idea that they could use in a cartoon. Hanna immediately began submitting usable gags, earning an extra $5 per gag. Hey, we should do that here at Discographies. I can do bits. I can do gags. How about this? Jack Hanna. Jack Hannibal Lecter. You woke up in the night, you heard the ducks quacking. What did you do when you heard the ducks quacking, Clarice? The ducks were quacking. What did you do? When the ducks were All right, that's no good. He moved to assistant animator pretty quickly, working on cleanup work for Bill Teitla on the dwarfs in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He went on to assist for many animators, but mostly Norm Ferguson, who is best known for animating Pluto cartoons. Under Ferguson, Hanna became a full-fledged animator. The first scenes he animated were in the short Shanghaied, such as where Mickey is dueling Pete with the swordfish. In The Band Concert, he animated a scene where the benches get up and start running away. And in The Old Mill, he animated a section where a series of bats wake up, yawn, and fly out. You know, sort of classic gags. Around this time, Donald was chosen to have his own separate series, and Hanna was chosen to be on the Ducks crew. He animated Donald on such cartoons as Donald's Ostrich, Don Donald, Hawaiian Holiday, Lonesome Ghosts, and Moose Hunt.
I think I animated fairly good, but not one of the I wasn't going to be a top animator, and I was turning in a lot of story ideas.
Unfortunately, around this time, Disney was bringing in a bunch of talent from New York, including animators. Hanna was on the chopping block, since his animation talent was more middle of the road. Fortunately, his gag and story ideas caught the eye of Harry Reeves, who was in charge of the story department, and he was invited to join. Hanna was now a story man. Hanna was initially partnered with fellow storyman Carl Barks of DuckTales fame and Jack King.
My forte was a little more on the story end of it. I enjoyed a good top gag to a situation, but I, at the same time, was careful to see that the story built.
Carl and I would sit and discuss a situation and build up a section together. Then we'd divide it up and work separately on it. Later, we'd come back together to work on the storyboard. Hanna remembers, sometimes Carl and I would just close the door and start horsing around. We'd get to talking back and forth, tossing out any idea at all to start something off.
He reacted to situations more than other characters would. He would change that quick from a sweet, happy duck to a wild, raving maniac type of a duck. He doesn't try to hide any reactions. And so maybe people see themselves in the duck more. Well, of course, the best-known reaction Donald had was his losing his temper, and that was done by these old fighting poses, of wah, 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 you know, and his feet were going up and down at the same time. I think a lot of the things that made Donald kind of come to the forefront was that people saw themselves actually in Donald Duck, because his temper, his change of temper, and how fast he could come into it and even out of it. And so actually they began to more or less really laugh at themselves as they were watching the duck.
Together, they wrote around 20 Donald cartoons, including Donald's Nephews, Window Cleaners, Truant Officer Donald, Donald Gets Drafted, and The Plastics Inventor. He also made significant gag contributions and story continuities to Clock Cleaners, as well as a storyboard in watercolor for the lyrical growth of the beanstalk in Mickey and the Beanstalk. Carl and Hannah were also responsible for the first few issues of the Donald Duck comic. More information on that very interesting story can be found in Jim Corky's amazingly named book, From Donald Duck's Daddy to Disney Legend. The link is in the description. Unfortunately, Hannah didn't much care for the way his director Jack King handled his job. He felt that the stories never got plussed or improved in the personality department. I was told of a young storyman, Bill Berg, who was struggling with his story, Hannah remembers. Hal Adelquist asked me if I would go down and help him out with his story, and I did. The story had a good point to it, but was not developing very well. It needed some help with the continuity and the gags. I got it filled with a lot of personality bits, which I believed were more important in a story than just a series of gags. I went to Hal and said, "I'd just love to direct this. As much as I like Jack King, I can't see him directing these personality sequences." Finally, after asking repeatedly for the chance, the word came back from Walt, implying, "Go ahead, let him hang himself." Jeez Louise! Anyways, this cartoon would end up being Donald's off day. Walt caught him in the hallway after some time working on the cartoon and asked how it was going. Hannah replied, "Fine, but if I don't get started on another cartoon, I'll have to put all my costs on the picture, and it's going to run it over budget. I need another short to start on while this one is going through production." A couple of days later, Walt gave the go-ahead, and Hannah officially became a director.
Usually a director had a story crew assigned to him. That was usually 2 men. And usually a story started with those 2 men bantering ideas around. They'd go into the library, look in old magazines or anything they could. They might see a prop, just a steam shovel or something, a picture of it, and it would give them an idea for a situation. But a situation that would work with the duck, that would turn on the duck, and so that he could end up showing his personality. Okay. I remember one special one with Donald and some ants, and they were moving a lot of food and everything, so he started putting obstacles in their way. Well, finally, all this would backfire on the duck, and he'd get it, and people would like it. We tried to get quite a variety of characters to work with Donald, mainly to kill the boredom of having to do the same old thing and trying to get fresh stuff to the audience. During the war, I did some story cartooning, and Pete, the sergeant, was much bigger than the duck. So we always let the duck get into problems, but come out on top. because the other guy was bigger than he was.
About face!
Humphrey the Bear finally came in too, as a new character, and we accepted him, all of us, with a lot of enthusiasm. He was a real keen character to work with the duck. Again, the bear usually got the best of things, but we had a new locale, and the bear would come up and want to be fed, and Donald wouldn't divvy up any of his food, and so that would start the situation. So it was almost a reversal on Donald's personality.
Not only did Hannen direct Donald shorts such as Squatter's Rights, Boodle Beetle, Winter Storage, Crazy Over Daisy, and Trick or Treat, but he also directed a few goofy cartoons, including No Sale, Night for a Day, and Double Dribble, as well as Pluto cartoons, including Mail Dog and Pluto's Christmas Tree. He also directed a few one-offs, including Oscar-nominated Lambert the Sheepish Lion.
That's not a lamb. Oh, there must be some mistake. Where am I? Leopards, lizards, oh dear, lynxes, wrong thing, lambs, llamas. Oh, how did this happen to me? Lambert? But that's no lamb at all. Lambert is a lion. South Africa? Oh, goodness me. I've got to do some flying. Come, Lambert. Pardon me. I beg your pardon. Sorry. Oh, Mrs. Sheep. I'm afraid there's been a slight bungle. I'll take that vicious little brute and drop him in the jungle. Well, goodness. Heavens to Betsy. All right, let her have it. Let her have anything she wants, for heaven's sakes. I'm only a delivery service.
In fact, Hannen's cartoons were nominated 7 times between 1946 and 1955. So, to all you Hannen haters, you don't know Jack. Jack Hannen was a wonderful storyman and an even better director. And that's why I think he deserves this. Because he has done so much, we weren't able to cram it into one episode. Although we tried and failed. I swear I start auctioneer lessons next week. So tune in next week for the exciting second half of Jack Hannen's life. Thank you to these people for supporting us on Patreon and Ko-fi. And a special thank you to Ethan. If you want to make sure this channel sticks around, you can check out our Ko-fi link in the description. Every bit helps. Thank you for watching this episode of Discographies. Click the thumbs up button below if you liked it. And if you want to be notified when the next episode comes out, consider subscribing and hitting the bell. Comment below with characters you would like to see us cover. Further reading and references are linked below. We hope to see you in another Discography.